So whose art looks like this? It's not
People?
Pollock, huh? Is it
People?
Beeple? I read an
Why
article
can't
about
it?
Beeple's art actually, and I guess I shouldn't
I
have been.
read the same one. He's a shithead.
He's a total shithead. It's like there's zero intellectual content in his art whatsoever. Did you see the Black Lives Matter one?
I saw the same article you did. I must have in the Atlantic where they were like they're well like man they're like I was reading the article and I was like spending a lot of words to not say that this guy is like a reactionary right wing dude, but
You know
like
what? It's just as well because you know what he
ooh.
is. He's like Thomas Kinkade for the meme generation, right? That's exactly what he is.
Get that light out the back of my hair. Nope, that's just gonna live there.
Is that sunlight?
No, no, no. It's like an overhead light that
Okay.
is perfectly
I
in the
was
middle
gonna
of my
say I
head.
was looking out. My blinds are shut, so it's hard for me to tell. But
It's not that sunny right now.
it's not that sunny, but it's also not pitch black, which means that we're getting on with the year.
Like, and thank goodness, I love daylight savings time. The thing that
Yes.
we already voted for to exist all year long.
Did we vote for permanent DST or the permanent for permanent? What is the opposite of that? Normal
Standard time.
standard time.
We voted for permanent daylight time.
What is the acronym equivalent of standard time? Is it ST? Nobody says ST. People do say DST though.
You do Pacific Standard Time and Pacific Daylight Time, PST and PDT. Yeah. Because if you
Okay,
say if you say PST when it's actually daylight time, technically your time zone is incorrect,
that's right.
which is dumb. But like for time zone programming, you have to
It,
know.
it is true. Yeah, I'll. I think I avoid saying PST as a result of that. I think I always say Pacific.
Yeah, and when I think you can use PT to be like whatever the one is that goes with the date.
P lowercase xt, technically. Like
Next.
that's what the megabyte people of the world would insist on, right?
Megabyte.
MIBs.
Yep, yep. Oh shit, that's hilarious. You're totally right. Yeah, yeah. Our man, there's so many X's and words that I like do not quite understand these days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never been on the folk string because I'm like that word was already neutral. It didn't need an X.
Yeah.
So there's my canceled opinion for the day.
I played like 20 minutes of Loop Hero the other day.
Did you hate it?
No, I didn't hate it.
Oh, great.
I wasn't addicted by it, which is funny because a lot of people say that it's addicting. I guess I could see that. I like. Do you play like high stakes adventure round where like you really try to push your little guy walking around in a circle, or do you just play conservatively?
Well, it's tough because the monsters get tougher every time, and if you start adding like if you add enough mountains, they start spawning goblins. Like the mountains spawn goblins. The
Oh, I haven't gotten that far.
Yeah, the treasuries spawn gargoyles. So there's like the sort of as you place more resource cards, the game also gets more dangerous, and the monsters get more powerful. So like it's hard to stay conservative, and you kind of have to do a risk reward thing
I
pretty
see.
quick.
Yeah. See, my second round, I did like 8 or 9 rounds. It
Nice,
like
yeah, that's pretty good.
and then I retreated, and I didn't have enough resources to build a second building.
I think the resource game seems to be extremely stingy. That's
So
my
what's the
experience.
point? But you're like, I think those resources are your permanent money, right?
They are, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, they are. I don't know, like when you beat the first level, you get access to the second level, and the resources, like you get more resources. Basically, like that's increased resource generation is like
Okay.
what happens per level. It's interesting. I like sort of
when you say you beat a level? What does that mean?
um
Is it
uh,
the second day, or is it different than that?
when you place, so there's a lot of bars in that interface. For one thing, there's a lot of progress bars.
Okay.
But one of the progress bars is the percentage of the map that you filled up. And when you fill that up, and it's not like the whole map, I think it changes per level, but when you fill that up, like the boss appears.
Oh.
And then you have to like fight for your life or you die.
And then the whole game starts over again, or
Then the whole game starts over again. But then you can go on like the second round, which has stronger monsters and more resources.
what does it mean when you die? Does that just mean that you don't get any resources for that round, or does like the entire game get reset?
You only get 30% of your resources, so it's not.
Oh, that's fine. Come on.
I mean,
Yeah.
you say that, but then when you've got a great run and like you've got a bunch of shit, and then you lose 70% of it, it's like heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But you do die a lot, or you will.
So I didn't hate it, but I think the criticism I would make is that after like sitting through probably 20 minutes of that, 8-round loop, I had the feeling that I didn't get anything out of it when I went back to town.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because I didn't have enough to make anything.
Yep.
And so... And it
I think
felt like I was
that's
fighting
fair.
for a while, right? Like it felt like... And I knew that all the gear that I was getting wasn't going to stay. So...
Yeah, I mean, I try to go as long as I can until I like make it back to camp with like less than half health, and I'm like, okay, that was probably the last one.
So I just didn't last long enough. Is basically I think.
Maybe I think the buildings cost too much, or like you get fractions of resources to build up to full resources. It's weird.
There's some tuning is basically I think what we're saying.
Yeah,
because like if I had enough to build a second building and it like that let me do a little bit more during the adventure round, then it'd be like
Absolutely.
okay, I get the loop. You know what I mean?
yeah, because yeah, like and if you do one more loop and you get the second building, it helps because then you get to unlock more card tile types.
Oh.
So like you have more options when you're
Yeah.
playing the loop too, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also like I've unlocked 3 classes, and that's pretty neat. They play really differently.
Oh, so how much have you played altogether? Would you say? Couple hours or longer than that?
I would guess I put 5 hours into it, but I'm gonna open Steam and embarrass myself. See if it's more. If I go over to Loop Hero, 8 hours.
That's close to 9 actually. I see 8.8.
That's true. Yeah, Jeffo achieved. I see you're in there too.
There we go. Well,
Can I see my achievements? Yeah. I've done some stuff.
okay.
I beat the first boss a couple times. Yeah, I've crafted some items, got some potions. There's some stuff. Defeated the Lich, normal shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd recommend. There was like, I think I did what you did, which is like I played a loop and I was like, that's weird, and then I tried it again and sort of like fell into a hole for 3 hours playing it.
Yeah.
So like maybe it needs the right mindset.
Yeah. And then the other game I'm still playing Control a little bit, but I got to a part where you can either go find the director's brother or go find the scientist who's hanging out in the mold.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did the second because I didn't want to advance the story. I like to like grind before I advance the story.
Totally. Yeah, you got to be overpowered for the boss fights.
Exactly. But that area was really hard. Like I got to the mold thing, and then like there's a bunch of mold monsters that can like snipe you from really far, and when they hit you, it takes like half your health.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm
The
talking
mold
about?
is bullshit. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Is that am I just underpowered, or is that just kind of a shitty part of the game?
I think you're maybe a little underpowered. How
I have like almost.
Which
I have
powers
like,
do you have?
I have
Yeah.
like one more health upgrade until I'm maxed out health. And
Powers do you-
how many powers do I have?
Yeah.
I have the shield, and I have the ability to like capture enemies and turn them to my side.
Okay, yeah.
Um,
Those are good ones.
Those are good ones. I don't think I've come across any other powers so far. I think those are the ones that I've got. And I have the dash.
Okay, I think you should go find your brother.
Okay, so there's another power that I should be getting. Is basically what you're hinting at.
Yeah, yeah, and then I think the whole thing kind of comes into stuff like the mold people gets a lot easier when you have that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying not to spoil things for you, but yeah.
Okay.
I can also tell you what you're missing.
I appreciate that. I haven't used any walkthroughs at all. I'm proud of myself for this game.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm
Like-
hoping that
like-
after I go through the mold level that I'll be able to navigate the other mold rooms that I've sort of stumbled across earlier in the game that I just die immediately when I walk into.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. You have to like do whatever that lady asks you to do.
Yeah, because she says that like once you fetch quest, it's kind of like an openly bullshit. Like you have to find these 5 different things, then I'll be able to make you a thing that will allow you to go deeper. And I think that's the kicker. And I was like, I can go into the other places that I noticed in the past.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, get more powers.
Okay.
Finding your brother is like not the critical story. Well, there's a lot of story after you find your brother.
Okay. Cool.
It's not the end of the game.
How much game is there after this point?
I think a chunk.
Okay.
You're probably nearing like the 2/3 mark.
Oh, okay, great. I'm glad
Yeah.
it's not like the 1/3 mark because I think the game would be too long if that was the case.
No, one half to 2/3 for sure.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a terrible 2/3 left. No way. Maybe when you add in all the DLC, there is a bit of that,
Oh,
which I think you
DLC.
have.
I have the Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, you've got it all.
I've got everything.
Yeah, DLC was only so.
Oh, okay.
I mean-
that's fine.
It was okay. I really enjoyed the Alan Wake one, but that was like a fandom I was already a part of.
Right. What are the games that we're anticipating right now that are coming out soon?
I'm excited for the next Horizon
Okay, that's
'Cause that first one-
that's not for a while though, right?
sometime this year.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and the first one was dope. So
Okay, but nothing really imminent, right?
imminent. I'm kind of stoked. Oh, Disco Elysium comes out like next week. I'm really stoked for
For
that.
console.
For PS5, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe like in 2 weeks. Damn.
Why not just get it for Steam?
I don't know. I feel like I feel like I have better play sessions on my console than my computer. I like can't really click into a computer into a game on my Mac or my PC for very long.
Isn't that weird? I have the same. I think we've been
Yeah.
console gamers for too long.
It's nice to like no one can text me. There's no Windows pop-ups, nothing like no browser lets me.
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna
off.
just open YouTube and screw around for 15 minutes.
Yeah. And it all just works pretty much. Like I don't have to deal with configuration or like I don't know. Yeah, I really like my console.
Do you have the thing where when you watch or when you play a game on your desktop, it never looks good. The way
Never
that like
looks good.
sitting on you have a 60-inch TV or whatever sitting on your couch, those look really good. Even though like by the numbers, the graphics are way better on your PC.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It looks different to me. I do like the TV version better though.
Yeah, I think I think
much.
what it is like when you're sitting up close, you can see the polygons
Mm-hmm.
in a way that you can't.
Yeah, it's sort of the immersion can be a little broken.
Yep.
And yeah, I have a big ass TV that makes it all the better.
I guess we could solve that problem by like hooking our like PCs up to the TV, right? Like it's pretty easy for me to do. Well, it's painful enough that I don't do it. I suppose it's like
Yeah,
I have to
exactly.
drag it like 10 feet, and then I have to figure out how to control it, right? I have like wireless keyboards and everything like that, but it's like kind of an affair, right?
I also greatly prefer the controller, and to deal with that on PC, I have to deal with Bluetooth, and it's a disaster.
Right.
I love controllers are way better than mouse keyboard for me, unless I'm playing like. Well, I don't know. I got really used to Halo.
Also,
so, yeah.
said like a true console gamer, right? Everybody else plays all these games with mouse and keyboard, and they're happy about it. I can't handle it.
Yeah, I used to be a full PC gamer person, but like, I don't know what happened. Maybe I got old.
Yeah. When you were playing Remnant from the Ashes, were you playing on a controller or were you playing on mouse and keyboard?
Mouse and keyboard, because I don't even have Bluetooth on my PC.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And it was fine, but like,
Wait, so you don't have a gamepad at all for your PC? Is that what you're telling me?
nope.
You know,
Were you
can
playing
just-
on controller?
Yeah, I was playing a controller. You could just plug, you know. Actually, the Switch Pro controller that you gave me, I'm using that as my PC controller.
Do you just have it connected via USB-C?
Mm-hmm. Or just regular USB.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
All right, that's compelling.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll give that a shot.
Yeah.
But also I'm definitely a console gamer. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. So Disco Elysium.
I'm really stoked. I've been like waiting to play that until it came to consoles forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, weird political RPG.
Yeah, no, it sounds really good. It's fully it's like text, so everything is reading.
The new version they voiced everything,
Whoa.
which might help. But apparently it was like 1.4 million lines of dialogue they had to voice.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it sounded like a very silly project, but like I guess like your character has multiple voices, or maybe your character has no voice, but you speak with your limbic system or your reptile brain or your like spinal cord for some reason.
Right.
The whole thing sounds fucking weird. I can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, I was hotter on Disco Elysium when I couldn't have it. It's like, what was one of those things, you know? But now that it's like freely available on Steam, I've kind of held off. And my backlog of games to play on Steam is just like more and more intimidating as time goes on.
Wait, do you own it and you've avoided it?
I don't own it.
Okay, good.
I'm trying to look at what games are coming up for me.
That's how I ended up on Yakuza 0 because like I had it and I was like,
Yeah,
oh, I should
Yakuza
really play
2,
this.
right? Like Kiwami 2, I actually think it's probably gonna be fucking rad, right? Like everything else has been rad.
I'm like so afraid. I can't play too many Yakuza games back to back. I'm really afraid to like totally burn out on the series.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing Valheim, you know, for a little while. It's Minecraft with Vikings. It's like Minecraft has never been my jam. But you know, my brother plays it, so I'll play with him from time to time just to kind of like keep appearances. I mean, it's not torture or anything like that. It's pleasant, but like I'm not drawn into it the way other people are.
Are you telling me that you finished Yakuza Kiwami?
Oh yeah.
Oh great, you blew through that.
I blew through. I didn't do any side quests. I was just like, I'm not gonna bother with this. I just want to do the storyline.
That's really interesting. I should try that.
And well, I did some side quests. I'm gonna take it back. There was a point where I was like, oh, I'm not doing any side quests, so I blew through a bunch, and I turned the combat down to easy because the combat sucks.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Yeah, maybe I could do that.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I asked, it was like kind of a loaded question because I'm not sure what games I'm actually anticipating coming out. Like,
new shit.
Well, I guess maybe like, are we experiencing the pandemic year lull right now? Like,
I think so.
Yeah.
Because even stuff that was supposed to come out last year is still being delayed, and like, Cyberpunk was the last big thing, and that did not happen.
Right.
Yeah, surely there's going to be something, but like, yeah, I got very little on the horizon, which is great because I have 5 more Yakuza games to play.
Yeah.
Or 6.
Yeah. Has it gotten to the point where you play games as research? Do you do that at all now? Do you have that going through your head?
I have definitely bought games where I'm like, I wonder what this thing they did that everyone's talking about is. Yeah, totally.
Right.
Does that count as research?
It does. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
And it's really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, video games. Who's got the time?
I don't know. It's great.
Trying to get back into music too. It's trying to read books. Something's got to give.
I like that. Well, I like that you've somehow turned video games as your source, as your inspiration for getting back into music, which I really love.
I know it feels a little bit weird because music was my thing for a long time, but now it's like, I guess it felt for a while that I didn't really have anywhere to go with it. But now I do, because I want to get good at piano, and I actually want to really want to learn how to finger drum.
How to finger drum?
Do you know what that is?
No.
Well, you've seen like an MPC pad unit, right?
Oh yeah, like to do one of these things.
Exactly. Yeah, I want to be able to like essentially
sick.
play like, I want to learn how to play the drums, but I'm going to play it on a pad controller, basically.
Whoa, dude, that's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty badass.
I
Yeah.
think it's a great way to learn how to arrange. Well, first of all, how to just like hear drum lines and how to arrange them, because percussion has always been like my beats are terrible. Kick on the one
Do you
and the
ha-
three, snare on the two and the four, hi hats on the eighths. You know, it's that kind of thing.
that's the bass beat. Do you have a pad like that, or do you have to like research that and get the best one?
I know which one I want to get, but I've had a couple different pad controllers in the past. Both of them garbage.
I imagine the actual like button press ability of those things must vary wildly and actually be the most important part.
That's a very perceptive comment because it's absolutely true,
Oh,
and
thanks.
it's kind of the reason why I did not. I don't know. There's a couple different reasons.
I've pressed some buttons in my time.
Okay.
Let me tell you.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's related to the fact that like I play other instruments, and so I kind of want a piece of electronic gear to not just be on-off switches. You know, I want it to have an organic feel to it. And there's two obstacles. One is I think the thing that you said. Like sometimes it's just not built very well. I remember I had like a keyboard that had pads on it, and the pads were garbage.
Weird.
They were basically just like it felt like I was hitting a hard flat surface.
Oh, that's gnarly.
And you saw the picture of them. They're actually supposed to be kind of like spongy feeling buttons that kind of squish in.
Yeah.
You know this kind of button, right?
Absolutely, and I've seen people play this. Let me find a video of this.
Yeah.
All right, Tim Croker.
Right.
I guess when I see people play this, it's like the tapping is exceptionally fast. I'm just like, how do you squish into something that fast?
Right.
So part of it has to be like learning the timing or like the resistance too. 'Cause you got to hit it. You have to press like slightly before the beat, right? If you actually want to push a squishy button in. I mean, I guess you learn.
I guess we're learning about latency as we make the game, right? Like it's
Yeah.
like your body will actually, or your mind will tolerate a surprising amount of latency.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm thinking is that like to play this live, like you
Yeah.
actually have to.
This dude rules, by the way.
This dude?
Like just watching his YouTube videos, he doesn't have the smarm of a lot of like YouTuber kind of like nerd pursuit stuff that I've kind of become accustomed to. He's very straightforward.
Oh, that's cool.
And
I like that. I like the way he's breaking this down and like sort of.
yeah, he's a great communicator. The reason why I know which of these pieces of gear that I want to get eventually is because I watched his review, and
Nice.
He's like got a fairly comprehensive knowledge of different pieces of gear, and yeah, he was like very much about like practical things. He's not marketing, is what I'm saying. You know, like
Yeah. He's monetizing, but he ain't marketing.
no, yeah,
This is really cool. Yeah, it's really funny to me that like he's playing on this like digital audio machine that has like he's hitting the clear auto and the quantize 50% button.
Oh, I think
That's
that's like if you hold down like what's the equivalent to like the shift or alt key.
Mm,
Those are the that's what's going to respond. Usually when you play these and you're talking about sounds, you'll figure out your own distribution of like which sample you want to get triggered by which button. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, well like up here it's actually this is the digital display of the samples, but like the actual button itself being like quantized 50%, I just think is like it's such an interesting. It's a use of a technology that's like not quite meant for this, but in a very cool way.
Yeah.
Because like it clearly knows what buttons it's hitting up here.
Oh, right. Yeah. I'm guessing that they added secondary functions to the pads just because they just wanted to like reuse the space for additional functionality. I'm not sure how they decided which functions to map onto the pads. Either they're like very uncommon ones or they're the most common ones. I'm not sure which. I think you can make an argument either direction, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's neat though.
I watch people play Stratocaster. So the kind of guitar that he's playing is a Stratocaster.
Oh yeah.
And I watch people play Strats, and I'm like, God, Strats are cool. But like, I've only ever owned Strats, and I kind of hate them as a result.
Everyone else looks way cooler playing a Strat than I do.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
yeah. Wait, did you ever play guitar?
Yeah, I went to high school for guitar.
You know what? We probably talked about this, and I just
Yeah.
completely forgot about it.
Yeah, I went to a music conservatory for
I'm sorry,
half
Tom.
my high school.
Yeah.
You're sorry?
So have you? Well, because I forgot this about you, right? Like
Oh,
we've never really. I think the thing is like normally when I know people who play guitar, like part of our relationship is based on us nerding out about guitar. That's never been you and I. We've nerded about like everything else except the guitar.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because it's like it was like a thing I was doing from like age 15 to 19 intensively, but then I like sort of became a visual artist and worked in photography from like 19 to 26 as like also very intensively, and now I'm like, I don't know, a programmer.
Yeah, and to be quite honest, I think that's how I think of you. And then like when you were learning to play the uke, I think it was just like, oh, Dom's learning to play the uke now. He's just starting out on his musical journey, and so like I think that image of you has like replaced the guitar virtuoso version of you.
I'm not. No, see, that's the problem. That version never quite existed.
Okay.
But like
you play like jazz and everything, right? Probably.
I could. I used to.
Right.
Yeah. Past tense. I tried to pick it up again by doing a jazz piano class, and like it did not translate. Whatever's in my mind was super rusty. I know it's still in there.
Do you listen to
get
jazz?
it back out. Not as much as I really should.
Yeah.
I definitely put it on for relaxation.
That's me too. It's like raining outside. You put on some cool jazz, like some Coltrane or something. Like it's really good.
Yeah.
But I think my enjoyment of jazz is purely, I'll say cinematic, right? Like the feelings I get from jazz are purely like what Hollywood has taught me to feel when I listen to jazz. Do you know what I'm saying? Same with classical music, right?
At some point when this pandemic is over, you're gonna have to come to a jazz show with me.
I would love to. Fuck yes.
Yeah. We can go see my dad play or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I certainly have listened to a lot of jazz in my lifetime. And there's some good shit out there.
So real quick on Strats, and then we can get to staring at. So
we can get to whatever we want. Yeah.
Yeah, we can. Oh god, there's Acoustic Sonics is this like terrible new idea from Fender where they like.
What is this?
It's basically an electric guitar, but it's thicker. The body's thicker, and then they cut a hole in it. So it has
really
like
dumb.
It has like a kind of like weird piezo buzzy sound. Do you know?
I was gonna say, yeah, and look at that. It's got like this. The body is like hollow, but only this thick. Oh, that's gonna sound so weird.
Some people really like it, but I don't know. Partly it's my bias against plug-in acoustics. I don't know if you've ever owned one with a piezo pickup on it.
My uke has one.
Okay. Well,
yeah, it's okay.
With a guitar, you plug it into an amp, and it just sounds buzzy to me. Like I cannot enjoy this sound. But anyway, Strats. I've only really owned Strats. Like I own. I had it like a Black Squire Strat when I was growing up, and then when I was like 16, I got my first like real guitar, which is a Strat Plus from the 90s, and that was like my main axe for like most of my life, right? Oh god, this one's no.
This is what I'm talking about.
Why?
Fucking rad, man.
Yeah. There's a guy on YouTube who makes guitars out of all different kinds of like random materials. He made one with colored pencils once.
Whoa, yeah. That must have been neat.
Yeah. It is pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, this is a really beautiful guitar. This one here, right?
Nice ass guitar.
Yeah. So Strats like look really cool, but then like I play them and I play my Strat and I'm like, ugh. It's such a wimpy guitar sound. You know what I mean? Like that. Like
didn't Jimi Hendrix play a Strat though?
He did.
Yeah. I feel like it's there's a way to get great sound out of these things. I am just not capable of it.
Yeah, I don't know. And Jimi Hendrix's tone, to be honest, has been always like a complete mystery to me. It's like I don't really understand how he was able to achieve that, because like very few people get that tone.
Yeah, I absolutely have. I've tried. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, and
No
you also
surprise there.
need like a giant Marshall amp, right? Like he's got everything cranked to 10.
Yeah, that's got to be a huge part of it.
Yeah.
See if I can find. I guess, oh yeah, this thing actually exists. I have a very strange guitar that like barely exists, but it's totally that sucker. That's neat.
Is it at your house? Do you still have it?
Yeah, yeah. This is my guitar.
Oh, okay.
It's fucking rad. Double humbuckers, really really cool design.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's kind of like a Les Paul setup, but you've got a double cutaway there.
Hmm.
Body shape is
like-
a little bit like a Gretsch semi-hollow.
It is heavy as fuck. This is like one of the heaviest guitars I've ever held.
So so it must have a really rich and thick tone then, right? Because the weight probably comes from the body.
Yeah. The body is like maybe a little thicker than it should be,
Yeah.
but in
So
a
this
great
is the
way.
opposite of a Stratocaster. Is basically what we're
Yep.
saying.
Yep. Yeah, that's my baby.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Nice.
That's cool. I'm glad. Back when I got this, I absolutely could not find any information about it. And the internet has caught up in the last like decade, so that's nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like my uncle gave it to me. It's like a weird, must have been made in the 70s and they stopped doing it. So
Yeah. Yeah, I've got
Big fan.
a semi-hollow as well. Like it's basically like a knockoff ES335, which is a classic look. They don't sound as
yeah.
good as you'd want them to be though. Like they've got the F holes and everything, so you think it'd be like really rich and woody, but they're I don't know. At least for mine, I don't find it quite as chunky as I'd want it to be.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they look
fair
really
enough.
cool. Yeah.
They look really really cool.
I think I'm a telly guy. I think I just swung.
Telecaster
and then-
man?
Yeah, I think at heart I'm a telly guy, and I owned a telly when I was living in New York, but I sold it because I felt like I had too many instruments. But yeah,
Never too late to buy another guitar.
God. Oh man.
Yeah, we've got a streaming setup. We might as well get a home music studio
yes.
going too.
As is my want. I think partly getting back into music is to sort of build up the courage to spend money on music gear again, right? It's to feed the
Absolutely.
retail habit. I can't justify it right now to myself.
I feel the same way.
What would you get musically if you had to like just plunge money on something right now? Gun to your head.
Gun to my head, what would I buy?
Yeah.
Got a nice guitar. I got a nice. Oh, I would get like an actual. My keyboard is a glorified MIDI controller. I want something with like weighted keys. That's what I'm missing.
Yeah, totally. Like a
Yeah.
Nord or something.
Yeah.
Did you ever play the one at the chain office that I convinced Devin to buy?
Well, you just gotta steal that.
I think he
Where'd
probably
that
took
go?
it.
He probably took it. I mean, I took an iPad and a MacBook, so like I get it.
Fair enough. I mean, that was like a $3,000 keyboard.
But
Man.
who's gonna use it, Jed?
I would have taken it.
You should. I mean, little did you know that it would have been up for grabs.
It
so
probably would
shortly
have
after.
been. I bet Devin's a great guy. He would have been like, "I want you to have this, Jeff." Had
Oh,
I
yeah,
been,
probably
had
so.
I been standing there, right?
Devin is such a great guy.
Yeah.
I'm so glad he's just like partying in New Zealand now.
Yeah.
He earned it.
All right. Speaking of staring at polygons on your computer screen, we're staring at some polygons right now.
Yeah, I bet this will look better on TV because you really couldn't see the triangles.
Let's make it a particle system, shall we? Do you want to do it?
Let's do it. Yeah. Here, I'm gonna let's see. Can't see my shell. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me. I started putting in some controls.
Oh God.
Yeah. But so what do you think we should be doing here? I think like motion. We certainly want these particles to like come out of an origin and go in a direction. That's probably like I feel like core particle functionality.
Yeah. How? I think what we want is a. I think we might have to bite the bullet sometime soon, and move the matrix composition into the shader rather than have it in CPU space.
Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, let's take a look at that.
Okay. It's going to be a little bit of a grind, just fair warning, but
You think so?
Or
I'm
we can
really
just
curious.
copy. We can copy GL Matrix. We can copy that code and see. Which I think
curious.
is totally fair game.
I'm mostly curious because I feel like the renderer seems to be capable of doing things to matrices that I'm always surprised by.
Yeah. Are you
There's
talking
a
about
bunch
the
of short.
GPU?
Sorry, the GPU. Yeah, there's just like a bunch of shorthands in here where it's like you give it a matrix and a vec2, and it's like, oh, yeah, we filled in the rest with zeros. Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of operators just work on both types here, and it's fine.
I want to see what, because basically what we're going to do is rather than send a transform matrix in there, we're going to send like a decomposed scale, rotation, and translation, where the rotation is expressed as a quaternion.
Okay.
And then we want that to become a matrix that we can multiply. That's basically the model world matrix.
Yep.
But I want to see what operators are available in GLSL. That's hard for me to say. GLSL.
GLSL.
GLSL. We talked about Arnold Palmer, and I have a hard time saying that, right? It's like this stereotypical, like, I'm like a stereotypical Asian who mixes their L's and R's, you know?
But Arnold Palmer.
It's hard to say.
It's hard
right?
to say.
It is hard to say.
The LNR thing is bullshit because the letters are nearly the fucking same. Of course, people have trouble with them.
Yeah.
Like Americans can't say Arnold Palmer either. Arnold Palmer. Fuck. That's a great one.
Yeah. All right. GLSL. What am I? I'm like on the Kronos group wiki for GLSL, and it's a little difficult to navigate.
I'm on brown37.net, so we're both losing here.
We're both kind of searching around. Yeah.
But here you go. The multiply operator, you can do scalar to scalar. Is this? I see. So this is like float to vector, float to matrix, component wise. Cool. This is great. This is actually exactly what we want if we can sort of like suss it out.
Ish.
Because we can do matrix to matrix as matrix multiplication or a scalar multiply with floats and stuff. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, if we use the decomposed vec3, that is the translation, the vec4, that's the quaternion, the vec3, that's the scale, we need to turn those three components into a 4x4 matrix that can then be...
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to look in the reference and see if there's anything that can like just do that for us magically. Because like GL Matrix, the library, has a function that literally does that, right?
Yeah, and isn't it based on this?
It kind of is. If you take a look at the source code, they actually kind of like break it up. Like, let's see.
Okay, wait, I've got down the wrong path. GLSL.
GL Matrix, rather.
Oh, I was looking to see what was
okay.
actually in GLSL as a operator.
I'm looking at the 3.0. I'm looking at the 3.0 standard library, GLSL's 3.0 standard library, and
oh, nice.
I think the one that I'm looking at is called. If you search for OpenGL ES Software Development Kit, second link.
Sweet.
And then maybe go to documentation.
And this one? GLES shading language?
Yeah, 3. I think we're
2?
probably closer to 3.2 for WebGL. Yeah, and there's some functions going down the right side.
Wow, sure are. Cool.
And when I look at the matrix functions... Oh, wait, this is actually not... This is OpenGL. This is not the GLSL shader language. What if you... I wish... Maybe I'll just I'll Slack you the link.
Yeah, if you got it. So this does say API and GLSL index, which is
so they kind of mix them
confusing.
Together.
Yeah, but send me what you got.
Okay.
In the live channel.
Oh,
Gotta
yeah.
use it.
It's purpose built.
Purpose built indeed.
It's just so our crazy rants in our general channel don't get snapshotted and used against us when we become editor-in-chief of Teen Vogue magazine.
Oh goodness. People can see how the sausage is made, but like not all the sausage.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So if you go to M, it's disappointingly sparse.
Yeah, it totally is, isn't it?
I wanted give me a matrix from a rotation, translation, and scale.
Hmm. Yeah.
We can do it ourselves, though. I don't think it's going to be too bad.
I was gonna say, what I find most disappointing is that there's nothing under Q.
Oh yeah, they're missing several letters out of the alphabet here.
But that's, I think this is okay, because what are we gonna have to do? Actually just write a rotation?
It's actually not too bad. I mean, if you look at the
I'm sure it's a very standard. I'm sure we can find.
Yeah, if you look at the GL Matrix source code, it's just 30 lines of simple arithmetic.
Okay. For rotate, quaternion, whatever.
Yeah, go to Mat 4, I want to say, and then there's a rotation, translation, scale function. Yeah, that one. Yes, there you go. And then it's just this whole thing.
Gotcha. So we've got a quaternion and 2 vectors. What, dude? Whatever. This is nothing.
Yeah, we could actually make a function in the shader that does this and call the function, I think.
That seems super reasonable. Can we? Oh, and half of this is actually just pulling the variables out? Okay.
Yeah. What they're doing is they're trying to basically minimize the number of arithmetic operations that are actually happening. So it's pre-optimized.
Cool. It's really interesting that the translation vector just gets spit out verbatim. Fascinating.
Oh yeah. Basically, the last column of any transform matrix is just the translation. Great. Yeah.
Cool. So all this is really just figuring out, the rotation and the scaling together.
Yep.
Great. How? Okay. Yeah. Let's do that. Glsl functions. How do?
Looks a little bit like a C function.
Okay. These are the functions that exist, and that's not helpful.
Oh, yes, you want to declare a function. We actually have a function in the
oh, great.
In the wire solid shader. It's the shader itself.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my shortcuts are messed up. Okay, great. That's super duper easy. Okay, so really, and let's see. So float is the return type. So we're going to have a mat4 matrix from vectors.
Just call it from the same thing as in GL matrix.
Okay, yeah. From rotation, translation scale.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm going to assume this is Q, V, and S again.
Yeah, and I think we want to give it a type. So Q is a
mat4. Oh, I see. We have to. Cool.
That's TypeScript. So this is probably going to be C style. So I think the type goes in front of the variable name.
You're totally right.
Yep.
And then cool. I'll just do this. And then a vec3 and a vec3.
Yeah.
Sweet. Neat. And then let's see. Same with variables. We're defining that in advance. Yeah. I'm gonna just copy all this.
Yes, we can.
We'll just convert it top to bottom.
Exactly.
And now here's the question: can we import this from something else?
There are ways to do that.
I mean, maybe
but if we wanted
That's
to,
okay.
we would. I think we probably just essentially implement a preprocessor.
Here's a question I do have.
Mm-hmm.
Is any of this something that we can do linear? We can use the built-in operators with, because this feels like the JavaScripty way to do things that are multiplying.
You're talking doing component-wise addition and component-wise multiplications, what's
yeah,
already built in. Yeah,
exactly. And I feel like some of it, because I assume if we do this all by hand, we'll actually be creating something slower than using the built-in shader operator.
That is correct. So, I mean, if you want, we can try to look up the more fundamental math of how you put this together, or we can reverse engineer it from those math expressions.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because if you actually look at it, it looks like lines 1330 all the way to 1338
Well, this is q times 2, which is great. That's easy.
Yes.
This is
And that looks like you take that and then you multiply
q2
times
q.
itself almost. Except there's a
Yeah.
W in there. It's a little complicated.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to see. Yeah, was there a vector?
V times V is the third from the top, and that is
Yeah.
component-wise. Yeah. All your basic arithmetic is going to be component-wise for vectors.
Okay. Interesting. Gotcha. Yeah, I am definitely. I'm struggling to see how to unroll this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe this can be clearer if we try.
Yeah, I think so for X, Y, Z, W, we don't have to do anything. That's what Q is, right? And then X2, we can just call it like V2, because what it is we take the quaternion and we just take the first three components and multiply them by 2 and then stick them in a vec3.
Yep.
Is there a way in GLSL to reduce a vec4 into a vec3?
That's a great question. I mean, I wonder if it's as simple as
Like
changing the
vec3
return
on
type.
it, something like vec3 like a cast.
Yeah.
Or we can, I mean, we could just do vec3 of Q1, Q0, Q1, Q2. That's another way we could do it.
Yeah, totally.
Or actually, it's not array notation in the shader. It's dot x dot
It's
y
dot 0. Yep.
dot z. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, great. Okay, well let's see. So yeah, x, y, z we don't need here.
Goner.
Or-
Yeah.
And then this is going to be q2 equals. I mean,
2 times.
2 times q.
But that's missing the W component. So it's a vec. Q is a vec4, and we want Q2 to be a vec3. So maybe we can call line 28 V2. What does V stand for?
They call it the translation.
Can we call it T
vector
instead?
Yeah.
And then this line 28, I don't know what logically this is going to call it, so I think we should just call it V2 to just mean the second vector, right? Vec3 V2.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I guess, yeah, I'm really curious if I do this. I mean, I assume it's not going to truncate. That'd be asking a lot.
Yeah, well, let me actually see. I'm gonna Google this and see, like, GLSL cast vec4 to vec3.
Ooh.
I wonder if there's anything like that.
Vector has swizzling. Now we're talking. Vec4. Oh, no, that's not what I was hoping for. That's not what.
Oh yeah, you can totally do it. You can do Q dot XYZ.
That's cool. Can I do this? Oh, I guess I can just do. I can do 2 times Q dot XYZ.
Yeah.
All right.
It's looking pretty.
I like
good.
that. Oh, and we're in semicolon land. Great. Okay. And then this is vec3 v3 equals q dot xyz times v2, which is weird.
Yep.
xyz, then
No,
yy.
that's q dot x times v2.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Maybe
Gotcha.
we can call
Oh,
this
then
vx.
Vx. Okay. Yeah. Q times x times v2. Yep. And then, oh, interesting. So these are like.
It's not 100%. Yeah, lined up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really interesting. So then these are what do we call it? VW equals Q dot W times V2.
Yeah, and it's line 43 is not a let, it's a vec3.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yep, yep, yep.
I know this is like confusing. Yeah.
Yeah. So comments on the JavaScript. So this actually works.
And this will be a vec2 vy.
Yeah, can we just do that? Vec2 vy. Oh, and then
q dot y times v2 dot yz. Yeah.
Does that work?
Yep.
That's cool. All right. And then float vz equals q dot z times v2 dot dot z. Yeah.
And then
vz feels like a weird name.
Okay. Right, because it's not a vector. I don't know what else to call these.
I feel good about it. I'm just acknowledging that it's weird.
So you know what's gonna be hilarious is lines 50 to 65 is gonna be really, or rather 50 to 60.
Yep.
Are gonna be fucking horrible to write because, for example, our vector vy. The vy dot x is equal to yy.
Fuck. Oh man.
But
okay.
we can do find and replace. That's I think maybe that's the thing.
Well, here's damn. Yep. Yeah. I mean, we can just do that. This is vy dot x. What I really want that to be is vy dot y, and for x to be 0.
So
is that weird?
Could be. I mean, we could just do line 36 vec3 vy.
Yep, and just do this by v2.
V2 dot xyz. Yeah. Oh yes, but that's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe for our own enjoyment and readability, we do this.
Okay. And then.
And VW is already there. Yep.
And then VW is going to be weird because like VW, there's no fourth component to that. So
there's to the quaternion, you mean? It's QW times this doubled up vector. So we have an X, Y, and Z for VW.
Oh, I see. So, okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it works out pretty well actually. So YY becomes vy dot y.
Yeah.
I do feel good about that.
Okay.
Why are you selecting so much? Stop it. ZZ is VZ dot Z.
Yeah.
SX can just we'll just convert these.
X,
yeah. Oh yeah, you know what? That's even easier.
Yeah.
S dot X. S dot Y. S dot Z. We'll just get rid of that. XY is VX dot Y.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, yeah, this at least sort of comes together. VW, this was WZ, so this is
VW.Z.
VW.Z.
Yeah.
VX.Z. I gotta this is VW dot Y.
Yeah.
W dot Y. XX is VX dot X. WX is VW dot X. YZ is VY dot Z. I did it. That was horrible.
And then
and this is V dot Z, V dot X,
T.
V dot OT. Thank you. We changed that.
Yeah.
Smart. Nothing to it. I'm sure this works perfectly the first time in this language that we have no type checker.
Great. Yep.
So real quick, this matrix assignment seems like it's totally wrong for let's see. So we need like mat4 out.
Yep.
And is this actually
I don't know how to address matrices.
I just saw this back here. Oh, dude, check it out. You can do one dot. Holy shit. You can do dot yzx and it'll just do the right thing with the vectors you put in there. Fuck. Oh, it's weird. It's really weird.
I don't necessarily think it'll be more efficient than what we're if we just
No,
do it element by element, right?
This is just like the fact that you can assign these in order by that is fucking bizarre. But I was gonna say, I guess this is going to be 0.x, 0.y, 0.z, and 0.w. Right?
Correct. Or you can use array notation. Do you see how you can treat it as a two-dimensional array in that example there?
Yeah, totally.
That might be better, actually.
Yeah, I like both of those options. 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3.
And really quickly, I'm going to Google really quickly. GLSL make mat 4 from rotation translation scale.
Cool. Yeah, right. We totally forgot to do that.
Also, I think this has something like that, but let's see. I'm just trying to see if there's a pre-built function that'll do this for us in GLSL.
Totally.
I mean, are we doing something weird?
I mean, once we sort of take this down to pure GL operations, this is our input. This isn't that strange. Getting to the matrix could probably also be a little easier, but none of this feels that terrible. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that, actually. Because when written this way, I think it's really clear what's happening. Just not all these vector components are used by the output.
Yeah. My guess is that there's an even
easier, shorter,
like either like a cleaner expression of those or whatever. But like, I think
Absolutely.
this is fine. I think this is totally fine.
I assume you're 100% correct. Yeah. Let's see what this is dying on over here. Cool.
I think we just need .o on our ones, and like our interliterals need to be like, yeah.
Well, because we want it to be a float, right?
Exactly.
We want those to be floats.
And I guess the compiler doesn't do. Yeah, that one should be 1.0.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Even the 0 should be 0.0, I think. Well, actually, I think 0 is special, right? 0 for some reason it's able to.
We do have a 0.0 over here.
Okay.
Which seems fine. Might as well do them all.
Yeah.
Why not?
And then there's another one. Line 36.
Oh yeah, great. I'll explain why it's maybe still breaking.
And then also there's another one at the very first line of the function, line 18.
That actually is probably pretty cool. Error out, system error. Great. Syntax error out. I wonder if actually we should not be using that word in particular. Result.
Yep.
Indeed.
Okay, so it compiles. Now we have to figure out how to use it, which is going to be a long and interesting road.
Oh, I feel like we just did the hard part. You think so?
There's just some setup.
Yep.
That we have to cram.
Right, because we'll actually need to get in we'll need our in vec for rotation. Actually, we've got attributes for this now. Let's use those.
A instance rotation, I think.
Rotation.
And then, yeah.
Indeed. Instance scale, instance transform. Cool. And these are.
It's going to be a vec3 for.
I was gonna say that one is. Yep. And in vec3 a instance
translation.
Translate. Thank you. Translation. Sweet.
And we can get rid of line 10, which will break the shader.
I was gonna keep it working.
Okay, that's fine.
We can do that too.
Yep, that's totally fine.
Because I want to do mat for transform equals from rotation translation scale of a instance rotation, a instance translation, a instance scale.
Yep. Beautiful.
All right, so this thing is running. It's probably just multiplying a bunch of zeros right now, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's see. We'll go to particle toy main.
Mm-hmm.
And now we got to get a little fancy. Is I think where you were heading.
Yeah. I think we need a user land, and this will actually be a good prototype for our eventual particle system. But we essentially want to make however many. We need to make like an array of vec4s that'll contain our rotations, an array of vec3s that'll contain our translations, and an array of vec3s that'll contain our scales. I would eventually like this to be each one of those to be one giant contiguous, for each of them to have like a contiguous float 32 array. But let's start off by doing it the dumbest way possible, which is like,
yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Like actual vec3 array, an array of vec3s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Sounds
because we have an array of mat4s right now, right? That's what xforms is.
Yep, sure is.
Yeah. So basically, in parallel to that, we can just make an array of quats, which is the rotations, an array of.
Is it quad or quad 4?
Quad.
And then, I mean, translation is really position is vec3 and scale. I feel like we could we get away with that? I mean, scale could be, they could all be 1.0 if we want to.
Yeah. Sure.
I mean, well, I guess I was like, we did do some scaling here, so never mind. Cool. Okay. So kind of, we do have this loop going on for everything, and we'll redo it and assign the matrices or the individual components instead.
Yep.
So rotations dot push, and then quat dot
create.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we're trying to create it from. How are we doing rotation right now?
We have we're doing. Oh, we're doing rotation. Oh, we're doing.
I think the rotations are. They start off.
We're doing rotate Z. Yeah. We're just using this matrix function.
Oh, and we're not. They don't start off as being rotated at all, right?
At all.
So I think just quat.create is fine. That's the identity. That's the identity rotation.
Sounds good. And then positions. Come on.
I think you might want to pluralize line 143, just so it's consistent, and then scales as well.
Indeed. Cool. And then
would it be all right if you called it translations, just so it can line up with the
absolutely
line up with the shader names?
I guess I was thinking in terms of our game space where they're all positions.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Either or. That's a fair argument. Yeah.
I don't care that much. And then our scales. Is that our scale? We just pick this. We scaled everything the same. Oh yeah, because it's just in a different position.
Yeah, sure. We can randomize them if you prefer.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. I feel like ultimately I'm interested in like them growing or shrinking or doing something like that. Cool. And then we need to actually write this into an attribute buffer.
Yeah.
Transform. Okay, so this is our sucker.
Mm-hmm.
We can just do this a couple more times, I guess.
Yep.
Why do we have color twice?
Ooh.
That's a bug.
That's just a bug. Yeah.
Neat that works. I guess we just overwrite it.
Yeah. I don't think it has any effect on anything, but yeah.
And it's scale, and then these are absolutely single component.
It's 433.
Oh, sorry. These are
Yeah.
not the matrix things. Yeah.
It's super
Oh,
confusing.
attrib slots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
It is super
Yes,
confusing.
yeah. A little bit.
Yeah.
Cool. Great. And then we splat stuff into an array. Where do we write xform data? Is it not all the way until update? Interesting.
Yeah, xform data is what we actually copy in every frame.
Yeah, well, I guess that we do this one time is actually unnecessary then. Because we don't copy it until the end of update the first time. Frame 0 of this, or frame 1 of this renderer does not render any triangles, turns out.
Yep.
Great. And I'm okay with that continuing to be true.
Right.
So let's see, instance rotation, instance translation, and instance scale. Scales, translations, and rotations. Really just feels like a lot of boilerplate so far.
Yeah, it's not going to 100% work the way that you typed it out because
of course, yeah.
we need to make those flat buffers basically. So we'll have like a rotation data, a translation data, and a scale data, and we're going to have something that's a lot like those lines that you just copied for each one of those attributes.
Yeah, and actually, let's just do this. We'll do this right here. Yeah. Rotations data, rotations data, and scales data. And I mean, really, these can all just be tries.
Exactly.
We know what they are.
Yeah, in fact, it's probably better to use tries anytime we're using something .length.
Yeah, I concur. So we're gonna fill this over here instead. Yeah, we should not be doing any of that.
Yeah.
In fact, let's make sure. Rotations data, and data.
Yep.
Cool.
Buffer overflow. What does that mean?
I don't know, but it's still working. That's surprising.
One of the issues is that those arrays are, well, they're the right size right now. Oh, you know what it is? It's not 16 times. It's going to be 4 times that.
4 times?
And then actually 3 times that for rotation.
Oh, gotcha. Yep.
Oh, wait. Let me think about this a little bit more. Oh, yes. We only have one of those attributes per triangle. It's not per vertex. So we don't have to multiply by 3 or anything like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Still getting buffer overflows, but.
Still getting buffer overflows, but like, we're not even. We're not even. So I'm gonna do the thing. I broke it. I've been avoiding it so far because I just want to make sure that nothing else was breaking. But let's swap this in there and use the transform and call it a day. So for this, we are going to. I shouldn't have. It's helpful. We don't need to. Right. We don't need the sub index, which is really nice, actually.
Yeah.
So we're going to say rotations data. Though I guess 4 tries.
The inner loop might be useful because
that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It'd be from 0 to 4.
Yeah, I was trying to think if there was a way to do it where we didn't have to have check the loop size like that.
As far as I know, there's no copy, unfortunately. There's no mem copy equivalent in JavaScript, so you kind of just have to write it yourself.
Huh. Right. Oh, copy within is interesting, but
oh, I didn't even fill.
Yeah. Nope. But I feel like I think you can see what I'm trying to find, but I don't think it exists in here. You're totally right.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, set is actually I think what we want. Will that work? Or an array-like number? That's really interesting. Let's let me look that up real quick.
Okay.
32 array JS set. Because I'd love to be able to splat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is exactly what I want. That's beautiful. Cool.
Let me see here.
Because you're setting these values into a uint8 at an offset.
Okay, yeah, that is what you want.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah, and this works really well for so we'll do what is it? We'll do rotations of I, that's J. And then the offset is going to be I times 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this is translations, and that's gonna be I times 3, and scales also I times 3. What is it unhappy about? Oh,
it's just a typo.
I can't spell. I spelled scales wrong too. That's amazing.
That's cool.
Sackles. Sweet. Heck yeah, offset is out of bounds. Listen tries. X3. Interesting. Let me boot this up as a Chrome debugger real quick.
Okay.
Because that was a really useful script for you to add.
Yeah, it's pretty good, right?
Big freaking fan of that sucker. Yeah. And I was really happy that worked because my debug tools have not always been the cleanest. That's interesting. It didn't.
That is interesting.
What's going on? All right. Well, let me close that.
It should be spawning a different instance of Chrome, though, right?
There we go. It's weird that it.
Oh. Okay.
It just needed a little help, apparently. Do you want to show me where we are? Oh, we're right here. Okay, so, wow, a lot of stuff going on in here. Why did it get the whole GL namespace? What the fuck? That's really annoying.
It's annoying.
Wow, and that's what I got to work with. Okay, thanks.
Oh, you're talking about the local context. Yeah. Can you hover? Does hovering help?
Yeah, nope.
What are you looking for right now?
Oh, I guess maybe hovering does help. I wanted to see.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
you're totally right. Cool.
40 of them in there. Are there 10 triangles?
10. I made 10.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Let's put this back down to 4. Actually, I'm doing a weird thing.
Yeah, you might have an issue with colors. That could be because like colors isn't big enough for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that fresh with 4.
Yeah.
I had it there because I was curious what was going on with the colors and it was working, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, I know with colors we should probably make colors like one per triangle eventually.
Mm-hmm. I'd be okay with the looping array too. It seems like a nice way to configure something because we don't necessarily want to think about these as rotation translation. We want to think about them as like every particle having its own color. Like particles will be from a set.
The problem is though that you have to figure out, unless you do want control over what colors your particles are,
mm-hmm.
and unless you want the colors to be equally distributed like that, like it's not going to look good.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
That's fair.
It's like that, like
and
kind of having the loop
and they
only
might age
matters
over
if
time
you're
too.
just trying to like equally distribute the colors across every particle, and especially if
right. Yeah, I guess I can think of a lot of ways that. Oh, go for it. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was waiting for you to finish.
Did you freeze?
No, I'm here.
Oh, I thought you actually froze there.
I just said, especially if we use the same we use the same draw call to draw different emitters. At that point, like the wrapping, the looping doesn't make sense anymore, right?
No, you're totally right. I was thinking that like particles that age over time and sort of fade out, like we absolutely have to do color by individual particle instead
Right.
of as a random scattering. Like it wouldn't work. So
Right.
you are correct. So I was making sure this is 16, which means that rotations should be, yeah, these should all be 4, like 4, that's correct. Okay, so if I hit play, I'm going to get into this function. And you're on that. Oh, well, we'll get through the tries. So now rotations data has the first one set. Oh, interesting. Okay, that did seem to blow up right here. Did we get something wrong? This seems like it should have worked. Let's try that again.
Oh, I get it. On lines 186 to 188, rotations is not a 4-element array. It is a... Oh, it is a 4-element array.
It's
rotations I is a 4-element array.
It's set in it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's set in these correctly, which is really cool, actually.
Okay.
I'm a little surprised it works.
Okay.
I is 2, and then translations there should be translations is 3 times tries. This should only be 12.
Oh, we just mixed up the
Here's what it is.
Yeah.
I got them wrong. Yeah. Yep. Boom. All right, that's fine. I feel totally good about that. All right. Well,
amazing. Yeah, that's great. Fuck yeah.
Did it.
All
right, now let's rotate them. And this is going to be rotations. Rotations I. I guess we can do quad dot rotate z of this. Well, actually, what does this take? It's going to take the output, the input, and the radians. So that's rotations I. Nope, not the data. And rotations I and that.
Yeah.
No way that just works.
Oh my god, dude.
Whew.
And our shader, that means our shader math is like good.
Yep, it sure does. That's great.
That is
cool.
Fantastic.
I feel great about that. Yeah.
Well, congratulations. Nice work on the shaders.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that is satisfying.
It really is. We wrote a GLSL function. So I'm going to take out the transform.
There you go. Kill him. Dead.
Transform. Yeah, you're gone. You're gone. And then X forms, you're gone. Out of here. Out of here. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Every time I save, it's just back up with a fresh one.
So good. Do you want to try...
You know I do.
How about we do random colors, 1 for every triangle? Same way we did the random positions.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, that sounds great, because then we can scale it up as much as we want.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I guess soon we'll get to find out if our... We'll get to find a bunch of stuff out, actually. It's been interesting. I guess, so here's what I want to do. I don't want to update the colors every time. I want to update the colors once.
Yep, totally.
Why? Oh, I see.
We just need to, whatever we pass into, yeah.
Let's do the random colors first. You know what I want to do next after that. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Well, if we want to do random colors right now, one way we could do it is we can just populate this color. Like, we should call colors data just to make it really apparent what it
straight
actually
into
is.
It. Yeah, sounds good. Yep, colors data, and this will be. I mean, 3 times. You want to do it's a vec4 right now, right? We'll do 4 times tries.
Mm-hmm.
And then colors data. And then, yeah, so we're sending out every render and we can fill this in.
Yeah. What the problem right now is our render API doesn't allow us to set an initial value for things. We can only update the values on a render.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, we can get around that if colors sent. Like, I don't know. We'll put a boolean in there and like we'll only update it once, right?
Yeah, I guess yes, because eventually this is what we want to get towards, I suppose.
I mean, I don't have a huge problem with this interface if we have to like do initial data and never update it, because like we're talking about particle emitters that will actually update these on every frame.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So no reason to like go totally bonkers on setting that every time.
Yeah.
Or figure out how not to set it, that is.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because like eventually like the same particle might be used by different emitters. It might have completely different rules attached to it. And frame over frame, we don't know, right? So
yeah, but it's cool if we actually don't have to update something frame over frame if we're for whatever we're doing.
It would be nice, because I can imagine a situation where some of those attributes just don't change as quickly as others, like the scale doesn't change, for example.
Yep.
The scale is actually probably the same exact boat, right?
Depends if we have shrinking particles as they fade out, but like probably for this one.
For this one, it's in the same kind of situation, right?
Yep. And you know what? Honestly, so is the translation right now.
Oh yeah. So maybe we can just have like line 142. Let's just call it first.
Yep. Okay.
And first equals true. And then
oh, I see. Yeah.
And then first equals false. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. That lets us
after like 15 or 20 years of programming, that's like my number one trick. Is like to do something on the first iteration. This is exactly the pattern that I use.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's all over my code.
All I got.
It turns out
it's all I got.
It works great, and you don't have to worry about it again. Yeah. So
what I like about it is it's like ultra clear. If it's first, then run this, and then it's obvious to set first to false, right? And it's obvious why you're doing that.
I love it.
Beautiful code. Yes.
I mean, we need them random colors, and then this is going to be
4 times
I times 4. Yep. Colors data. You just gonna work? Fuck. Attribute updates is not defined. Oh, did I leave one of these outside? Maybe I just need to reload this. Maybe I crashed the server process.
I would like to know if it ever happens. I'd like to know when the dev server doesn't seem to recompile, because I think it's pretty rock solid right now. But if you ever notice it doing that, then let me know.
Fair enough. Yeah. I feel like I've only seen it in super rare instances.
Yeah.
This is like
very 70s feeling.
Yeah.
Should we do random scales as well?
So I just want to say 40,000 triangles right now, still 60 FPS for me in Chrome.
Okay. That's amazing. It's choppy over here, but I believe you.
It's when I made a modification to this where I actually scrunched shit up a little bit in the translations. I put it in the -1 to 1 space so I can just see everything every time.
Okay, yeah, totally.
But let's spread this out a little bit.
Yeah.
Too close to the camera, maybe too big. I'm gonna scale these down.
Oh yes. If you zoom out and then that's very dense. 40,000 is a lot of triangles.
It's a lot of triangles. It's really performant. This is great.
You could do 10.
Yeah, dude.
It's one draw call. This is the beauty of it, right?
It's one draw call, and I think what we just validated is that our math is actually much better done on the GPU, because this was too slow beforehand.
Yep.
This is way faster than calling matrix dot from rotation. which does not surprise me.
Yeah.
That's really great. Whew, sick. All right, now what?
I'm gonna throw a complication at you, and I don't know if this is gonna be worth it.
Bring it.
But
Too close. There we go.
what I find strange about this is that we have an array of quaternions, and we flatten that array of quaternions into a float 32 array, which, if this were C or any other kind of like any other kind of
you don't like this?
Correct.
Yeah.
And what I would rather do is have only one array, which is our flat array of all of the elements, and then do the rotation on chunks of that array. Does that make sense?
Oh, I am picking up what you're putting down. Yeah.
So, and I think we can get rid of line 161 and 162 while we're at it, right? Neither of those change during the loop. Is that correct? Oh, we do need to write them in the first time.
Oh, yeah, but you know what? This is also an if first. For less computation, you are correct. And I guess actually, yeah, let's just do that up here.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's the problem. I'm leaving it here, but we'll extract that in a second. I get what you're saying.
Okay.
So sorry. So you wanna make rotations.
I don't want a difference between rotations and rotations data, nor do I want a difference between translations and translations data, or a difference between scales and scales data.
Okay. Yeah, that seems doable. Yep. Okay. So let's see. We're gonna get our new rot is. So I guess. So let me throw this out there. We got to do a bunch of quad4.creates because of that now. Is that right?
So this is where
actually I'm wrong. We'll have a work quad.
I think there might be that's actually not a bad way of doing it either. We can copy over, but I think I'm not sure what the better way is. I think I like what you're talking about here. In fact, you can make work quad outside of the loop if you wanted to, right?
That's what I just did. Oh, but I can make it even further outside. Yeah.
Yeah. So it only ever allocates once. The other way to do this kind of thing is if you search for MDN data view. Or actually, it might be a float 32 constructor.
Float 32 array constructor?
Yeah. What you can do is you can create a float 32 using existing memory.
Basically?
No, that's going to actually generate a new object. Can you click on the constructor? It's up here. It's above this.
Yeah, totally.
And what are the variants here? Yeah, so that last constructor, it will basically take the buffer, and basically you can say every numeric array, every like typed array in JavaScript, like an uint8 array or a float32 array or something like that, has a property called buffer. In fact, you can see it on the left, and that is is like that's like the bytes. It's pointing to the same memory that everything else is, but it's basically an array of bytes.
Interesting.
And what you can do is you can say, I have a float32 array that I'm just like essentially overlaying a stencil over an existing like piece of memory.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's really strange to me that this one constructor creates an array view. Does nothing else create an array view? Or I guess is everything else an array view over its own individual buffer?
Everything else creates its own novel buffer, but they're all views, right? They're all views over a byte array.
That's cool.
Yeah. Now, I don't know. I think this is still doing a heap allocation for the wrapper, right? So it's still creating it's like what is an array but a pointer, a stride, and a length, right? So that's like that triplet of, right? That's probably what that data structure actually is. And so because we're newing it, we're probably doing an allocation every iteration, which is why I think your work quat might be a better way of doing this.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because we're not newing anything inside the loop.
Yeah, I think what's, did I lose quad 4? Oh, quad.create, sorry. I think what's going to be interesting is doing from values here.
Well, you could copy the values into work quat and then just pass work quat in twice, right?
Yep. Totally
and
correct.
Then copy it from work quat back into the array.
Yeah.
At the end.
So how is there a way to copy into work quat? That's what I'm looking for.
Work quat is just a float 32. So you could do work quat. You could do work quat.set.
That's sick. Okay, great. So we'll do rotation.
You know what? Never mind. They have like an overload here. I'm actually.
So here's the
work
thought.
Quat.set. Not quat.set.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Let's see what that does. So that's not on this type, but I'm like.
You can do work quat as float 32 array because that's what it is under the hood. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep, I like this. Dot set, and then cool. So wait, so when I do this, I'm turning this into a view over the rotations data buffer. I'm going to rotate it, and then I don't have to set anything. Is that correct?
It's not a view because the set is copying the values. It's not.
Shit.
It's not a view.
Yeah.
So if we did the view thing, it is exactly what you just said. If we did the new float 32 array with this thing, it would be creating a view over it. So it might be worth doing it just for shits and giggles.
I want to do it this way, but then I do want to try it that way.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I like that.
Yeah.
So this is that set. So wait,
it'd be rotations data.
Yeah, that's what I'm rotations data. But the offset, just I times or 4 times I times 4.
Yeah, I times
4. Because it's only now. Is this gonna buffer overflow on me?
Oh yeah, you're right. So now we're back in this problem of like how long is rotations data? Because rotations data is massive, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So maybe we just have to piecewise. That's going to create a new array. So the other way we can do it is just literally write 4 equal statements, right? We have to go back and not use the function anymore.
Yep. I think that's faster.
I mean, it's probably fine.
Is this faster? I doubt
the set is faster. I doubt a function call is faster than 4 assignments.
Even though this is probably okay.
I guess you want to call set here. I mean, we can.
I was gonna I was gonna quad 4 dot set the.
That's fine.
Rotations data. Yeah. At least I know this is going to keep it memory safe, though I could write this, by hand.
Yeah.
Let's copy you.
Totally.
3 and 2. Then we rotate, and now we do rotations data dot set of. What's this?
Work quat as.
But work quat, yeah.
As float 32 array. Or that'll. If it's taking it, then it's taking it, right?
Yeah, it took all of these because set takes an array like, and I think the vector library seems to conform.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so this work is gone.
Mm-hmm. And then we have to initialize rotations data with the correct value. Because I don't think we're initializing rotations.
We initialize rotations data. Right. Does this not do zeros though? That's too bad.
Yeah.
We can initialize with the value,
I do
right?
think that I think a 0 quaternion is all zeros.
Yeah.
But that's not true of a 0 scale, right? So for
True,
scale,
but I can. It's too bad Phil's not doing what I hoped it would. I might just have to call it. Oh, never mind. That totally worked. I think that's that. Because this is outside of our loop. This is just data setup.
yes. But with translations data, we can't do this because we need everything to be at different positions, right? So we actually have to initialize translations data with different values.
I see. That's totally fair. I mean, I guess if we wanted to do everything the same way, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, really, I should just take this out of here and do this the once and fill it out.
Yeah, or let's actually take line 119 to 124 and do a variation of that on line 134.
That sounds great. Yep. I'm with you.
And here you could do a set. Yeah, exactly.
Yep, and the same for scale. So right, we're accomplishing the goal of just getting rid of
the non-data arrays.
The non-data version.
Yeah,
that seems really great. Because then all of this goes away.
Correct.
Sick. Did I delete colors data? I think I just did. Oh yeah. Let's just move that down to where it should be. Brilliant. Was this what prompted this in your head? Because that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, basically.
The answer could be no too, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, basically, the idea is I didn't want to have to have two different things, right? Like one of them was like a two-dimensional array, and one of them. Oh, I mean that looks cool, but I don't think we're no longer rotating, right?
I think we are no longer rotating. So let's see. We set our work quad out of here. We rotate it and set this back in. And I've initialized this to 0, which we were pretty sure that the 0 quaternion is 0.
No, 100% sure.
Okay. Geometrics. Yeah, if it's not all 0, that actually could.
Maybe one of the values is 1. Yeah. Okay, so I was wrong.
Bingo. Okay, cool. Well, that's easy. Because we'll just do this here. Data.set and then quad. Yeah. Just realized that all that's got to go. 3, 4, and we'll put this at the top to line it up. Now I'm surprised.
A little bit.
Yeah. Great. Let's break in there and step into it. Okay, so rotations.
Is it set I times 4 because it's like an offset?
Oops. There's one lonely triangle just rotating somewhere that we can't see. Yeah.
That's probably what it was.
That's exactly what just happened.
Yeah.
Cool. That's great. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. Too bad this couldn't be easier. I feel like we could actually, were we so inclined, sort of fork the quaternion library to work on an array view of our data pretty easily. I mean, I don't know about pretty easily, but.
Yeah. Well, what's tricky is any compound data structure in JavaScript is just like a heap allocation, which sucks. Maybe at some level it turns into a stack allocation. Maybe the compiler knows how to do that. But like the problem is reducible down to, which means it is not irreducible from, is reducible down to a pointer to a buffer, a length of the buffer, and an offset into that buffer. right? So it's like a pointer, an offset, and then how long your chunk is.
Mhm.
And in order for you to pass that into any function, that's like a triplet. And either you pass it in as 3 separate variables, which is really hard, which is just ugly from a programming point of view.
Mhm.
You keep it in an object or you keep it in an array, and that's a heap allocation right there. Which
Yep.
is just JavaScript.
Totally. Yeah, I guess I was thinking that taking this function and giving it view and offset would actually let us work in this way. But yeah,
Yeah.
exactly what you just said is that it's
Well, I mean,
limited.
if you wanted to do it that way, then we could just be using data views, and then it would clean up some of those things, I think. Oh, this is cool. These are much tinier. Can't see the rotation as well, but like, yeah.
I was
Do you want to
working on
randomize
it.
the scales?
We could randomize the scales. I was going to turn the rotation down a little bit too.
Oh, yeah, because it's pretty intense.
Yeah. Oops, I made birds. Yeah. You want a little random scale in here too? We can do that.
Yeah, maybe 0.
0.1 to 0.2 of math.random. Oh, and actually we should do, they're still triangles.
Oh, you want to keep them consistent. What if they weren't?
I mean, they don't have to be.
Would it be messy?
All right.
The
You're
glove
playing
is
this chaotic
cast.
chaotic evil, so let's do it. This is chaotic good. I'm with you.
I'm surprised how regular these look.
I didn't let it get that weird.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
You want to be weird?
Oh, yeah. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Oh, two nuts. But let's we can go more dramatic, like 0.5. 2.5.
Yeah.
Give them a little more.
You make me happy,
range.
Tom. I just wanted to say that.
I know. See, there's a
there
weird
we
one.
go.
I got a weird one for you.
And a very, what do you call that? Scalene.
Oh, that's a great word.
What are the different trends? There's isosceles.
Isosceles. A scaling triangle is definitely a thing.
It's 2 sides are the same. Oh, all three. Yeah, all 3 is different. That's what I meant. Of course, that's what I meant.
Equilateral, isosceles, and scaling.
Yeah.
Anyway, I figured I'd make them a little lazier because it was probably just gnarly as fuck for Twitch to.
So whose art looks like this? It's not
Beeple?
Pollock, huh? Is it
Beeple?
Beeple? I read an article about Beeple's art actually, and I guess I shouldn't.
I read the same one. He's a shithead.
He's a total shithead. It's like there's 0 intellectual content in his art whatsoever. Did you see the Black Lives Matter one?
I saw the same article you did. I must have in the Atlantic where they were like, I was reading the article and I was like, spending a lot of words to not say that this guy is like a reactionary right wing dude, but like,
You know what? It's just as well because you know what he is. He's like Thomas Kinkade for the meme generation, right? That's exactly what he is.
Thomas Kinkade for the meme generation. I like that.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Our art is better than people's art. We could sell this for 70 million.
Yeah, why are we mad at Beeple? We should have been mad at Kinkade this entire time, right? Because it probably even more bullshit.
People have been mad at Kinkade.
Oh, okay. So people are mad.
I want to see the backs of these. I want to see the backs of these triangles. How do I do that?
Are they backface calling right now?
Sure are.
Okay, so let's go to the particle, the render particle method in the renderer. And we can, where do we set up all of our variables? Where do we call apply settings? Can you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, so we probably need one of these apply settings, actually. This is actually a good bug to discover. You discovered that we weren't calling use shader. We also want to call apply settings.
That's
pretty awesome bug, I gotta say.
You know what? I was really disappointed because I found that and it still didn't work.
Yeah. Okay.
So what was the thing we actually forgot? It was something more important. Oh yeah, everything was GL none. There was no.
What are we sending into? What are the other shaders doing?
I just say these are our render settings.
Okay, so we need to add another one that's like backface culling. And I almost want to call it
disabled,
or we can make the default true. It's up to you. Like, because oh wait, we have to pass everything in. We have to. I think it's actually better if you just force everybody to specify everything at once. That's actually not a horrible way of doing it. So
great.
Yeah.
So you mean if I go to the problems in here, it turns out everyone is missing backface
exactly.
culling. Yep.
Yeah.
Seems good to me.
Can we alphabetize those? Just I have a thing. I have a disease.
Yeah, you got it. There you go. Let me fix the original one that I totally forgot to alphabetize. This is what you have to put up with on a twice weekly basis, Dom. I love it, and it's honestly it's a thing of beauty that in fact this has properties A, B, C, and D.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's actually I think subconsciously what was going on for me.
As I say, how often do we get an object that is this perfectly alphabetizable?
Yeah.
And then this one, wait, take me back. Let's start over here and then work our way backwards.
Yeah.
So like, alpha enabled, sure. This one is false. I assume color is good and depth test is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Whatever, they're particles. They can draw on each other. And then this is actually, is it this one? Settings dot render setting or settings dot?
It's not a true or false, so I think we need an if or an else, the same way that the color mask is being set. So
okay, sure. That's it. If dot this dot or sorry, settings dot backface culling. I mean, really, it's just do all that.
Yeah. Else this dot GL enable. GL disable? Yeah. This dot GL got that cull face.
Oh yeah. Okay, well now I got more problems.
Is there a gap
with this? No, but we're looking at it perfectly edge on. We've got a 90-degree plane of particles that I'm about to fix.
Yes. Are you gonna skew them slightly? Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, it turns out we're only rotating Z, and we're just gonna rotate them all.
Oh, this is chaotic evil.
Chaotic. We're both chaotic good. Let's be real.
Okay.
Does rotate? Nope. So do we have to actually do? I have to do a rotate X, Y, and Z here.
That's fine.
Welcome to. Oh shit, that's cool. Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah. There is an artist who does art this way, right? Kind of like paint chips. It's not Jackson Pollock.
Yeah. As I say, I didn't have a serious answer to your question. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, it's annoying me.
This looks great.
I feel like I've seen people who wear sweaters that look like this. Do you know what I'm talking about?
You want one of those classic triangle sweaters? I don't. Nope. 90s triangle sweater. Well, now we're talking.
I don't know.
This guy. One of these?
This strikes me as like an. This seems like kind of more like a geometric. Getting warmer, but it's not chaotic
geometric
enough.
Sweater.
I think we've actually weirdly come into like an 80s style again, right? Everything is.
Is that
80s.
weird? Like we always wanted to do the 80s
well,
style.
It's because the 80s was like, let me just like throw shit at a computer program and then I'm gonna mount that on the wall, and that's basically what we just did, right?
It is 100% what just happened here.
ESK has just popped into the chat, or they might have been there for a while. I didn't notice it, but they said you have generated a scene that makes video codecs run in terror.
Sorry,
kind of
that's why I turned the rotation down.
It's a little bit slow on the stream, but you know what? It's probably super smooth on Dom's M1 Mac live on his computer.
I mean, it's fucking great. I'm gonna open this up on Twitch on my phone just to see how much fuzz I'm putting into this thing.
Yeah.
I've noticed this recently. The more we've done like streaming shit, I've noticed that like a lot of shows that were meant to be, or a lot of movies that were meant to be released in theaters, like have this problem when they're streamed, where it's like there are too many particles on the screen, and this was not supposed to be compressed. Like you were supposed to watch this from the 4K source material.
Oh, interesting.
Not
So do you see
your
artifacting,
PS5.
or like what's the?
I see a ton of artifacting, especially in like superhero shit.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, we have crushed this video codec. Whoops. Man, this looks really cool. I'm gonna make a little Giphy of this.
Why don't you compose a little poem about it for us right now, and then we can.
Well,
kind
let's
of
see. I have to look over here at the river and get inspired, and then check out the tree. Have a little Ghost of Tsushima moment over here.
You know, I'm gonna say that I actually I earnestly did those.
Yeah, they were great. Me too.
I actually did try to make the best possible haikus in Ghost of
absolutely.
Tsushima.
I tried to imagine what I was feeling when I looked at the scene. I thought that was actually one of my favorite video game mechanics of the year.
Oh, really?
It was just so. It was like a purely aesthetic thing that had no benefit. All you got was a headband, and you had like 50 headbands out of it. Like,
yeah.
You did it just to feel a thing.
Buddy and I were also big fans of the dude's butt as he goes into the hot springs.
Oh yeah, well there's the butt, and then there's the incredibly tasteful cutaway as he's about to like flash a full dong at you. Like they make you, they're like, oh, and then they just go to black really fast at the exact moment before you find out he's a Ken doll.
And it was totally accidental. I believe me. They would have gone. They probably modeled everything, right? It was.
That's what I wonder. Yeah, do you find out he's a Ken doll or not?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Boundary Break? The guy who like breaks out of games. I feel like that's going to be a classic video of his once he figures that out.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that, but the idea of it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually very interesting because he watches like Mario 64 and like Metal Gear Solid. As stuff happens or like leaves the screen, you can sort of see where they like disappear into strange world space.
Is he the one that figured out? You know, there's that Kojima game, that little like horror game that Kojima made that like you can't play anymore because of.
Oh, PT, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably this guy. Not this guy.
Apparently, like I only had heard about this, but you hear a sound effect of something following you while you go down the corridor. But you can never turn around and actually see it, right?
Yeah.
But I think they actually did discover that there is actually like
a thing.
They did actually model a demon walking after you.
Oh yeah, here we go. Let's see if they can find the player in here. Yeah, this shit is really cool. I really like what this guy does.
Yeah.
I never played this game because I am chicken shit.
Yeah, I've never really gotten into. I think the scariest game I ever played. Oh, that's a good question. I played the original Doom, which was actually pretty scary. I don't know if you remember playing the original Doom.
The original Doom?
Yeah.
Was scary?
It was a lot of like open a door and there's a monster standing behind it.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. There's like there's some jump. I remember. I mean, Doom 3, very scary.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you play? Whoa.
That is
horrifying.
That is a dead woman.
Yeah. I guess this is where they're trying to share that a sound is making a person behind. Oh my God, she pushes the frame. So wait, I guess they're saying that like you can't see this, but they make Kojima modeled the character to do the thing. Fucking Kojima, man, he goes too far.
Yeah.
None of that shit. None of that shit.
You gonna dream about that tonight?
Probably.
I hate it. So now I'm trying to think of the scariest game that I've ever played. I was pretty creeped out playing Bloodborne.
Ooh, Bloodborne had some moments, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all of the Souls games kind of do that to me, but Bloodborne especially.
Bloodborne,
I mean, I haven't really...
like the beasts that like steal your experience points or whatever.
Yeah.
Those were scary.
They were scary. Yeah, there was also like there was some very weird Cthulhu monsters at one point that were like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloodborne had just like the
afar.
perpetual sense of dread, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that you just die so easily really kind of compounds it. It was really kind of like I think it's just like the perfect Souls game in that regard, right? Like just
It made me try Dark Souls 3 afterwards, and I was like, nah, not as good.
Okay.
Bloodborne was really, really great.
I'm
But
kind of tempted
yeah.
to get Demon Souls because everyone says it's so good. But do
Uh,
you want to play
you
pay
want to go?
$70 for a video game right now?
I was gonna say, you want to go splitsies on that and get a disc?
Oh, this is some GameStop. This is chaotic neutral at best, right? Like,
I mean, like
but
we
GameStop has plenty
we
of money
live.
right now, right?
Oh yeah, but like we're pretty close to each other, and neither of us is gonna beat this game. So let's get it used on Amazon. No, it's not even cheap used yet. Let's get a cheap disc when there's a disc.
69. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I would do.
Okay. That's a solid agreement. ESK says the
Solid,
original
yeah.
Doom was scary in its day. The enemies would make noises in
Yeah.
the background, sections in darkness, etc. I stand vindicated by the chat room.
Oh man, I do remember that. Like, yeah, you would be walking around and you'd hear something. I think I was like a little too young to get it. I was just like, "What's that noise?" And I opened the door and I was like, "I'm gonna shoot it."
Well, no, I think though, if you were to like go back and compare Doom, I think Doom was scary for its time. Let's put that qualifier on it because like it also had kind of like a shreddy prog rock soundtrack and invincibility cheat codes
Yeah.
and chainsaws and stuff. So it was like funny too, you know, in the way that id games or the old id games were funny.
Mhm. Yeah, I really want to be a person who can play Resident Evil, and I'm afraid I just never will be.
Right? Because I hear such great things about those games.
So, right, I feel like they are spoken of in the same reverent tones as Yakuza, uh,
Right.
and I know that I would fucking love it if I could get through it.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a free copy of Resident Evil 7. What do you know tonight?
Wait. Do we have a free copy of Resident Evil 7?
Not that. I'm sure.
Oh.
You do. It's in the Plus collection for you.
Oh,
Every PS5 gets it basically,
dang.
which is like sick. But also, I'm too afraid, too scared.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot in the horror genre that I mean, I play. This doesn't really count, but I played like the Walking Dead Telltale series.
Mhm.
I played. I think the first and second of those I played all the way through and thought they were really really good. But they're not scary really. They're
Yeah, shit, man. I want to play. I want to play this one. I want to play this
I
one.
heard
I want to
Prey
play
is
this
also
one.
really good.
I really want to play Prey,
Yeah.
and I think it might be on the edge that I can play it.
Okay.
We'll see. Uh, I did play Until Dawn, which was fucking great.
Yeah.
This might also be free for you, and I would recommend it. You should try this.
Okay.
You and Buddy might like it actually.
Oh, okay.
The entire thing is like an interactive horror movie that apparently
Is that
stars
Rami Malek?
It's Rami Malek, yeah, it totally is. And he probably
My-
dies horribly a couple
my
times.
man.
He got sawed in half when I played it.
Oh. Bummer.
But the whole thing is like a teen slasher movie where you control one character at a time, but like your decisions mean that either all 8 characters die or live, and
Oh.
every permutation in between. It's like a cool horror concept.
Nice.
Yeah, and I played it with a couple friends with the lights on, and we were like just having a good time messing with people.
Yeah. I think Bloodborne is my and people don't even think of
Super
Bloodborne as a
cool.
horror game at all, but it is my like I'm gonna continue to play this, although I'm very unsettled right now. Game, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And mostly I think what it was is that like they were able to mask the frustration of having to run through 5 minutes of overworld to go fight the boss again as horror, right? Like that's the cost of dying in that game. There's no actual physical pain. There's just the frustration of having to run by a bunch of ugly beasts again. Fucking werewolves, you know? But it felt scary as a result.
I'm trying to remember, like, oh yeah, dude, Bloodborne had some. Did you fight this thing? Because I did. It was horrible.
I think this is basically I got to
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Bloodborne had some scary ass monsters. We are 100% in agreement. That's for sure.
I did not fight that one.
Fuck the amygdala.
I think I got to I got a little bit past the giant beetle that you can kill on the floating ocean.
Oh yeah. Rom the vacuous spider.
Yes.
This thing is like a couple very specific fears all at once.
Because you have that crowd of spiders running after you. Although this fight was really hilarious because they give you infinite space to run around, or nearly infinite space. And so it has the kind of like it breaks the suspension of disbelief completely because you're like running around in circles. You know what I mean? Like, actually, a lot of this game is me running around in circles with like a boss just like chasing after me.
Yep. Yeah. I hated these things. They had weird eyes. Oh, these fuckers killed me so much. Jesus. Yeah, this game was great.
Yeah.
I really loved it. Oh, I can't wait to see what number
those
one
guys,
is. Yeah, those guys,
the little like mini Cthulhu's.
Fucked you up. What is that?
I don't think I fought this thing. Is this DLC?
I don't know. I beat the DLC too. Green Lantern Bloodborne. What the fuck is this? These were in the game? You know what? I probably just ran the other way. I'm glad that someone like had a thing for it. No, thank you.
Yeah.
These were the things that like drove you mad or like took control of you for a second. They were very all of those enemies were very bad. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, you definitely just reminded me how creepy Bloodborne is. So creepy.
Yeah, and it gets like increasingly unhinged. I think I got to the point where like everything starts to fall apart, as if like, you know, the real world is just kind of like this facade over like this fucked up dimension behind it.
Well, and there was an entire mechanic around like you develop enough madness to see these things crawling on all the buildings. Did you get that far?
Yeah, I did get that
really
far.
Weird.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Is it madness or the opposite? I thought that stat is like clarity. Yeah, or something like that.
I think you're totally right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think you want that too high, right? Because at a certain point, it makes
you
the
get
game
punished.
harder.
You see these things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, they should make another Bloodborne. That is a sequel I would be very excited to play.
I don't know if it's like apparently it like everyone talks about it.
This thing, bad, very bad.
Oh man.
Sorry, everyone talks about it, but like
it only
just
sold
3
million copies, I think.
Really?
Which is actually a pretty respectable number. But
I was gonna say I would love to sell 3 million of something.
Yes.
Right, I guess I
but
need to go to the whole
Japan
Wikipedia.
Studio, which is FromSoft developed it, but Japan Studio I think handled the publication or whatever. They just basically dissolved it because
I saw that, which is really weird.
I guess
Dark Souls sold 27
did make
million.
money, yeah. They did
I sort of
Last Guardian.
The
Gravity,
Last Guardian was like
what's it called? Gravity Rush, yeah.
But all of those were like another studio, and Japan Studio like supported them because this one was that was like the guy who made Ico and Shadow, but like his own studio.
Yeah.
My understanding is that. Oh yeah.
No. Go ahead.
My understanding is that like Japan Studio is no more, but like Sony's still going to run their like support team, which is what Bloodborne and Last Guardian and all that shit got, was like direct phone call to Sony to like help them port stuff, and I think that team still exists, which is great because all those games are fucking incredible.
Yeah, in the US they kind of operate a similar model with their Sony studios, and weirdly, actually, there's a corner of Naughty Dog. Is Naughty Dog now officially owned by Sony? Did they?
Yeah, they bought them, I think.
Okay, yeah, because Naughty Dog had an internal tools team called Team Ice, and everybody in the industry used their tools.
That's right. Yeah,
they were just really good at the PS3, which was like a super difficult platform to develop on.
Yeah, that one sounded like a disaster.
It was pretty bad.
Maybe don't ship experimental processor architectures to your.
It was a very Galaxy Brain architecture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very silly. I mean, I would say don't ship your custom processors, but then like Apple did their thing, so.
But the exception it's not. The ISA though for Apple, it's pretty straightforward, right? It's ARM64.
Yeah,
very transparent. It even has a little thing you can flip on that says like respect the memory boundaries that Intel uses, like the memory ordering, and it's like, and so like it was like
so weird. I love
maximally
it.
compatible. Yeah. Gosh, look at this. This is excellent.
I'm super pleased by our 40,000 triangles.
Yes. So
I can't believe this is actually rendering 40. I'm just going to turn this up another order of magnitude.
Oh.
I haven't broken the computer yet.
yes.
There we go. 400,000 is a few too many.
Okay. I mean, it still looks pretty good. It actually looks better on stream right now because they're rotating slower. I think there's just less changing.
Yeah, 100,000 is still a nice 60 FPS
Nice
triangle.
cooking.
So we're doing good.
Cooking.
It's fascinating because I think we're, at 400,000. I wonder if we were hitting.
Is this
like,
CPU or is it GPU? That's.
I was gonna say, what probably didn't work well 400,000 times per frame is this loop. That's a lot of looping per frame.
Yeah, exactly. And also we're calling a buffer copy, right? The render particles inside of that render particles call is a sub data call, right? So it's shuttling all that data over.
Oh, yep, 100%. Yeah, we did good.
All right, so moving ahead.
This is very effective. I like it.
For the stream, we are off Monday.
We're off on Monday. Yeah. Just
we'll
Monday.
Be back.
We're back on Thursday, right?
Yeah, exactly. Cool. And then I actually technically have the next couple of weeks off, so I think it'll be fun to kind of like try to make a real API for the particle system, so we can actually like have emitters and things of that nature. But the bones are
cool.
all there.
Yeah, is that what you want to do with some time off? That sounds great.
Yeah, that's what
that'll be really fun.
Yeah.
Cool. I like it.
And then
cool.
Yeah. All right. Well,
wow.
We're past 9, so we're gonna close up the stream. ESK, if you're still around, thanks for coming again. And
thanks
we'll
for
see
hanging.
you next time.
Sorry for busting your video encoding.
All right.
But not that sorry.
See you Twitch. Good night.